Every year, millions of people buy a dream wrapped in a small slip of paper. They know the odds, 1 in hundreds of millions, and yet they do it anyway. Why? Why do rational people spend their hard-earned money on something they know they'll almost certainly lose? Because the lottery isn't really about the numbers. It's about hope. In a world that often feels unfair, the lottery whispers one powerful message. It could be you. That whisper taps into one of the most persuasive biases in human psychology, the optimism bias. It's our brain's internal monologue saying, sure, someone has to win, why not me? We're notoriously bad at understanding large numbers. We can picture 10 people, maybe 100, but when the odds are 1 in 292 million, our brains don't compute the improbability, they just feel the possibility.
It's a cognitive blind spot. The chance of being struck by lightning in a given year is about 1 in a million. The chance of winning the Powerball jackpot is nearly 300 times less likely than that. But the feeling persists. Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman called this probability neglect. When the emotional thrill of a potential jackpot takes over, we stop doing the math. We start daydreaming instead. This is amplified by what's known as the near-miss effect. When a player gets a few numbers right but doesn't win, the brain doesn't register it as a complete loss. It feels like they were close, making them more likely to play again, chasing a win that felt just within reach. The daydream, for that moment, feels almost real. For many, especially those struggling financially, the lottery isn't just a gamble. It's the only perceived chance at escape. A $2 ticket becomes a 2-day fantasy, imagining bills paid off, houses bought, lives completely transformed. It's a brief vacation from the stress of reality.
Economists have a term for this, regressive hope. It describes the phenomenon where people with less disposable income spend proportionally more of it on lotteries than the wealthy. This isn't because they don't understand the odds. It's often because they understand their other odds all too well. The odds of getting a promotion, of escaping debt, of achieving financial security through traditional means. When everything else feels stacked against you, the lottery can feel like the only level playing field. And this is no accident. Studies show lottery retailers are often heavily concentrated in the lowest income neighborhoods. The advertising aggressively sells a vision of a carefree life, targeting the very people for whom that life feels most distant. That's the quiet tragedy of the lottery. It sells optimism to those who need it most, packaged as a game of chance. The ticket itself is more than just a potential prize. It's a tangible piece of hope in a world where hope can feel like the scarcest commodity of all. It's permission to dream, even if only until the next drawing.
There's a force at play when you hold a lottery ticket. Something beyond just math and odds. It's biology. Every single ticket, every scratch of a coin, every almost win that makes your heart skip a beat, it all triggers dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. It's a powerful surge, a feeling of pure possibility. And here's the insidious part. Even losing can keep you hooked. The anticipation itself feels so good that the outcome almost doesn't matter. Your brain is getting its fix from the maybe. It's the exact same neural circuitry that drives slot machines in Las Vegas and the compulsive checking of social media for new likes. A variable reward system. It's unpredictable, which makes it powerful. It's powerful, which makes it addictive. So even when the logical part of your mind knows you will probably lose, there's a deeper, older part of your brain that keeps whispering, maybe this time. And our whole culture reinforces that whisper. Lottery winners are treated like modern fairy tale heroes. We see them on the news, showered in confetti, giving emotional interviews.
We celebrate them as living proof that dreams can come true, overnight, with no warning. They are the exception that proves the rule of hope. But what we rarely see is what happens after the cameras turn off. Studies show that a staggering number of winners face bankruptcy, crippling depression, or shattered relationships within just a few years. Why? Because a sudden influx of money doesn't rewrite the habits, the anxieties, or the mindsets that were built over decades. The truth is, the lottery doesn't just sell a jackpot. It sells a story, and a dangerously seductive one at that. The story that your life could completely change without you having to change at all. So why do people keep buying tickets, knowing all this? Because deep down, we aren't really buying odds. We're buying hope. For $2, you get a temporary ticket out of fear, out of the daily monotony, out of that suffocating feeling of being stuck. It's a momentary escape, a license to dream. And sometimes that little escape feels like it's worth the price of admission. But here is the paradox that sits at the heart of it all. The very same mind that can dream of a jackpot has the power to build one.
Slowly, steadily, not with a stroke of luck, but with the force of effort. Because while chance can make you rich overnight, discipline can make you free for life. The lottery reminds us of how deeply we as humans crave possibility. But what if we redirected that intense craving? What if, instead of spending our energy hoping for an outside miracle, we focused on becoming one in our own lives? The odds of winning the Powerball are nearly zero, but the odds of changing your life with small, consistent, deliberate action, those odds are almost certain. You are the variable that you can actually control. Maybe the real jackpot isn't in the numbers on a piece of paper at all. It's in what we choose to believe is possible for ourselves, and then having the courage to build it day by day.